Awesome. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the On Purpose Live. This is our Agent Academy. This group is growing. We're up to 45 members right now. Now it's just a matter of getting in the swing of attending the live. So we have two lives. We have our Monday one, which a lot of you were on, and that one is our Monday momentum call. And then we have this Thursday live one that we do together. And this one, we are going to be diving into whoever shows up in this room kind of dictates where we go. And then, in case nobody has anything, I also have something prepared to share with you that you guys will find useful today. So, welcome to the room. What we're going to do now is I always like to start out with the right frame of mind. So, we're going to just share what we're grateful for today. And you can put that in the chat. You can also unmute yourself and share. I would love to hear your voices. I would love to see your faces too if you guys want to share your video, but I understand if you can't. But what are you grateful for today, this Thursday?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, yeah, go ahead, Mark.
oh, well, Shannon, ladies first.
Thank you. I was just going to say, I'm glad it's Thursday. Wednesday was more like a Monday. So everything I touched yesterday was a problem. Like open the mail, everything's a problem. So I'm just glad it's Thursday
It's a
and
new
putting out the
day.
fires from yesterday.
It's a new day, right? A fresh start. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mark Catman.
Honestly, the simple fact that I'm alive, just being alive, honestly, I it feels like we don't think about that too often. But I don't know, just the fact that we had the opportunity to live a life is, I don't know, enough to be grateful for, in my opinion.
Yes.
Um, and a little more deeper for me is the fact that I get to find out like what my purpose is here, and it's a privilege. It's a privilege to do that because not only there's a lot of people that never got to do that. They never got to live, you know. So
I
I
love
thought
that,
about that
Mark.
recently, so that's a gratitude for me.
I do love that. It's sometimes we do take for granted, right? The simple things that we just take for granted every day. So I love that you're grateful for just having life and purpose. Beautiful. Karsha, good morning. She said, I'm listening, but I cannot speak. But she's currently sitting in the waiting room at the oral surgeon waiting on her daughter to finish up. Okay. Thanks for sharing that with us. If you want to share whatever you want in the chat, Karsha, you are welcome to. We pray everything goes well with your daughter. And we're grateful that hopefully she comes out and she heals quickly from whatever's happening. We just had the whole wisdom teeth thing last year, so both girls got their wisdom teeth out last year, so I can relate to that. Hi, Missy. Thanks for joining us. Chuck, Mark Garner, Missy, do any of you guys want to share anything you're grateful for today? And if you can't, that's fine. I'll share one thing I'm grateful for, just in particular here recently, is just being able to parent adult children. I know that sounds like a weird thing to be grateful for, but I'm really grateful that my kids, that we've raised our kids to want to come talk to us when they face struggles and problems. And I mean, I know I felt that way with my parents, but as your kids get older, it's one of those things that you really hope like they feel comfortable coming and talking to you about things. And I'm just really grateful, even though, whenever your kid hurts, your mama heart hurts too. And you want to just make everything better. And when they're older, it's a different dynamic because you can't just always jump in and make everything better. You have to teach them and coach them through it. But I'm just grateful I have the opportunity to do that. Very thankful. So I'm going to move on, but you are always welcome to share something you're grateful for if something pops in your head. Um, that you survived the teenage years. I've got a teen that may not make it to adult. Yeah, I'm grateful. I still have Sophie's going to be 19 next week, and then I will have one more year of the teenage years, and then oh my gosh, my youngest will be 20. That's insane to think about, but
Yeah, you will survive, Shannon. Appreciate it for what it is. One day you will miss it. Maybe.
Oh, I'll survive. Whether they survive is the question.
Yeah, we need to play that song. I love
Okay.
this quote. Oh, Missy, go ahead. You want to add?
I just wanted to add to that because you said your oldest is 20.
No, my youngest, sorry, my youngest will be
Okay.
20.
I was like, wait a minute. No, she's not.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my oldest is 32.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And your
so
youngest is 19 and he'll be 20
yeah,
this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on all of that. And yes, we raised our kids correctly, thank God. But, they've had some decisions to make on their own, clearly.
Yep.
So
It's part of life. It's part of
grateful to
life.
them all.
Yes. And grateful to get to be their mom, right? Like it's fun. It's a fun journey. I love this quote by John Maxwell. I feel like it really goes well with our group and what we are wanting to do here at the On Purpose Agent Academy, and just being that source for you guys to have a place where you can have some accountability and have a group of people who want to do business the same way that you do. And it's this quote: if your habits don't align with your dream, you either need to change your habits or change your dream. And I know habits can sometimes be an ugly word. We don't like the word habit. Sometimes it can have a negative connotation. But honestly, it's just the rhythm of your life. It's just the things that you do and the intentional things. That's why being on purpose is so important. It's just basically living a life intentionally, right? And dreaming intentionally and thinking about the future intentionally, and then making small steps every day to help you get there. And so that's part of what we're doing today. So today I want to open it up first. If you came today with a problem, if you are stuck somehow, whether it's mentally or physically, you're stuck on how to do something, I want this to be a safe place where you can come and you can get help for that. If you have something you're trying to implement in your business and you're just struggling getting it off the ground, we have a lot of resources and people on this call, not just myself, who can give you answer questions, give you some insight on that. I hate when it times out on me. I gotta learn that. It's annoying, but I don't really need it up anymore anyway. So I want you guys to before I move into anything else, I want you guys to have an opportunity to do that. Now I know one of the things we're focusing on is in the school group. A lot of you have expressed what your goal was for this week. I'm going to go in. A lot of us chimed in yesterday that we're working on it. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. So I am going to look at our intentions for the week and see who's on the call and who we can see. So Shannon, you got yours done. You did update your 2026 newsletter recipients. Good job, girl. That's awesome. You were one of the people that got yours done this week. Mark Garner, get equity snapshot verbiage and stationery that you plan to use. How is that going? Do you need help with anything on achieving that goal this week? I don't know if he can talk or not. Chuck is checking in on your Lolo client. So Chuck, are you just going through the list of your people and just touching base with them? Is that what you mean by checking in?
Yes, just making sure they're getting my Lolo and how they're doing.
Have you started doing that already this week?
Yes, and I ran into a problem. I've got one gentleman that I found out he lost his wife late last year,
Oh
and
no.
I want to reach out to him, but I don't want to say, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" Because
Yeah.
obviously he's not doing well. So I was just wondering if anybody had any way I can reach out to him and what I can say.
Oh, Chuck, I'm so sorry to hear about that with your client, but we've had similar situations over the years. I can tell you some of the things that we've done. And then, of course, anybody else who wants to chime in or put in the chat or unmute yourself, jump in. I don't want this to be just about me talking the whole time. I really want it to be interactive. So, um, one thing you can do, depending on how your relationship is, if you feel like you guys have talked, pretty recently and you feel comfortable, I would just call and just check in and say, hey man, I just want to offer my condolences. I heard that your wife passed away. And I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you and praying for you. And if you need anything, just a check-in type of call. If you don't feel like your relationship is that close, you can always write a handwritten note and just let them know that you heard the news and that you're thinking about them. And again, if there's anything they need. Shannon, I know you've done like a delivery to people before. I don't know if you want to share about what you've done.
Mine has been more with babies,
Oh, okay.
but I think I think things people appreciate is like just a gift card for a meal, or he might be. My aunt just lost her husband in August unexpectedly, and she's really struggling with just being at the house. So Chuck, I think something that he might appreciate is just like you want to go grab a coffee or an early dinner or something.
Hmm.
Uh, because I know my aunt, especially with the days being long, because it gets dark so early. So I mean the nights being long, she's just struggling being in the house. And so she's been doing all kinds of stuff she normally didn't do before, which was go to breakfast with people. And actually my parents picked her up and brought her to my daughter's hockey game last weekend, just because she's just really struggling being in the house.
Alone. Yeah.
So I would maybe, I don't, again, kind of depends on how close you are, but even just grabbing a coffee, you don't have to be close for that. But I'm gonna say he probably is just kind of looking for things to keep him busy. So maybe something along those lines, because I know that's what my parents are trying to really do with my aunt right now.
I love that suggestion too. Anyone else have any suggestions for Chuck? And in case you missed it, he said he had a client whose wife passed away last month. Chuck, how's your relationship with this person? Are you guys pretty close?
We were a couple of years ago. We coached our daughter's softball team together. I haven't talked to him in probably about 3 years. So, but I'm going to give him a call today and just offer my condolences and, you
Yeah.
know, just catch up again. And like I like the one about taking him out. I know how that is, being housebound.
Yeah.
'Cause it's kind of don't want to be around. But that helped a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would say too, I think my Mark Garner is my husband, and I think that he might be busy right now, but in some of the situations now, I wouldn't say he hadn't talked to them in that a length of time, but he had been talking to them, maybe a couple times a year. And when he found out that they passed, he not only offered condolences, but he also said, "Look, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to get thrown at you, real estate wise, estate wise, like whatever might come up. Now, they might have their affairs in order and everything's going to be fine, but you might want to just let them know that you are a resource for them. If that's one of those things to be delicate about, like I wouldn't throw it out there unless you feel like that is an appropriate thing to do with that person. But we have done that for some people. Say, look, I know you're going through a hard time right now. I know there's a lot of stuff, but I just want you to know you have a resource in your back pocket. If you have something come across that sounds fishy or you want some help deciphering what's going on, if I can't help you, I can help get you connected with people that can make sure you're making good decisions, because you don't want to be making big decisions when you're still grieving, right? And I think sometimes people really, I know that that seems cold, or like I remember my mom used to do that a lot with people, and I used to think, how dare she call people when somebody has passed away and say that? But now that I'm older and you see what happens when things don't get taken care of correctly, it is out of love. It truly is, because you don't want people putting themselves in horrible positions. I know Missy just went through this. One of her clients, her husband passed away suddenly after they had just closed on the house. And she had no problem calling her, offering condolences, being there. But then she's also like, look, we need to talk about how this is going to happen. And you need somebody in your corner, right? And I think people appreciate that. They may not, I don't think anybody takes that like you're trying to sell them on anything. I think that they look at it like, thank God somebody's looking out for me. So I wouldn't shy away from that too, Chuck, if you feel like it goes that direction, or if he says, oh, you know what, I have a question, or, I would be there for them in that capacity as much as possible too.
Yeah, sometimes when somebody passes away, I just feel like an ambulance chaser.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just sometimes you gotta, life's reality, and you got to let them know that, you know, things are going to be hard, and, you know, I'm there to offer them support.
Yeah.
But keep this in mind, Chuck. You're not an ambulance chaser because your heart is to do something that helps them. So even though it might feel that way, you know in your heart what you're doing is right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I was
That's a
just going
good
to say
point.
the same, Chuck, because I've worked somehow 2024 and 2025 was my year of the widows. And a lot of it was their children calling me to help their parents. And I think they're so overwhelmed that honestly, just reaching out and kind of taking that initiative because they're so overwhelmed. If they do need something, they are not thinking clearly on who to reach out to. Like with my aunt, and she lives an hour away, but I mean, her first thing when I got there the next day was, do I need to sell and move? And I'm like, that is not what you need to worry about right now.
Hmm.
You know, I'm like, it has been less than 24 hours, but she was so overwhelmed, especially with it being unexpected, that's right where her mind went. And now obviously it's my she's not my blood aunt, but basically my aunt. And I've had that with other, they're just so overwhelmed that they don't know. They just don't know. They don't even know the questions to ask. I know where you're coming from, that it kind of feels weird, especially if you haven't talked in a while. But you know, it's actually a great time to reach out and just be like, hey, I'm a resource. If you need anything with, you know, cleaning things out, you know, banking questions, like anything, I'm a resource for you. If I don't have the answers, I know where to get them. Um, because they won't even think to ask
Yeah.
until they're in the middle of it. So it's kind of already nice to know if somebody has kind of, now they will think of you. Like, oh my gosh, yes. When I talked to Chuck, he mentioned that.
Hmm.
And so I know it is awkward and it feels weird, but after you make that call, I bet you'll be really, really glad you did it, even though it might have been a little awkward off the start.
That's a great point, Shannon. And I think, and to Missy's point too, when you're talking about like, or what you brought up about the ambulance chasing mentality, maybe even addressing that when you talk to him is like, look, I know because of this change in your life, you are going to probably get bombarded with calls or people that are trying to capitalize on your situation. And I want you to know that I'm not that type of person. I'm here for you. So if you find yourself getting bombarded with that, or you have questions or something's presented to you that sounds interesting, but you're just not sure, you want to make sure you get another opinion, I can be that person for you. And I will give you an unbiased opinion, not based on, even getting a job from him, right? You just want to be their trusted advisor, the person that they feel they can really trust and get good advice from. So sometimes it's good just to mention those things because then when it happens, he'll be like, man, Chuck warned me that this was going to happen. It might have already started happening at this point. So that's a great question, though. I love that, Chuck. So everything else, though, with your following up with your Lolo people, it's going well? Or how are you doing that? Are you texting them or calling them or?
No, I'm calling them just, do I got your email right? You know, are you receiving the Lolo? What do you think of it?
Perfect. I love that. The other really cool thing about Lolo, and those of you who don't know what Lolo is, it is like a delivery system of a monthly free gift. And you, as the agent, you pay like a dollar something per person delivery, and then Lolo curates the offer with a locally owned business, not franchises or anything like that, but a locally owned business in your area, and sends them a coupon to get a free thing. So ours this month was Crema Nut Company. And Mark and I just went yesterday and picked ours up, and it was for a free 12-ounce bag of like chocolate covered peanuts or a free 12-ounce bag of chocolate covered almonds. And we ended up getting some other stuff too, because that's usually what happens. You get there and you're like, oh, I'll get this too. But great experience. And oh, Karsha, I will put the link in the chat for you. But it's really nice because once you sign your clients up for it, no one else can sign up that same email or phone number. So I always recommend that you try to put both for your client in there if you can. It doesn't cost you any more to email and text it to them, but it emails them and texts them the offer every month. You get to see what the offer is ahead of time. I had one month where I didn't agree with the offer, so I paused it for that month. So, it's really cool, but it is a great way, like Chuck is doing. It's a great way to have a touch point with people is to say, hey, are you enjoying the free gift or how did you use it? Or Mark took some video and pictures yesterday, and I'm going to maybe take a picture of what we purchased and just say, hey, I used my free gift. Have you used yours yet? Like it doesn't have to be anything elaborate, right? It can just be something really simple. You can just post it on your social media. But just a really, yeah, Karsha, you're welcome. It's just a really great touch point. We call it if you guys haven't looked at the On Purpose Agent Academy checklist or like the playbook, it is one of those surprise and delight things that you can do for your client. I consider it like a surprise and delight. It's nothing to do with real estate. It's just one of those things that's like, this is really cool that they're doing this for me, right?
I'm actually going out to dinner with a client next Wednesday because this month's was Forbidden Root, like a free appetizer.
Yeah, sorry, that was this month. I haven't used it yet.
So, but she reached out to me and she's like, we should do, because we have like every so often, she's a single lady. So every so often we like meet up for dinner and she's like,
Yeah.
we should go here this time and I'll get the appetizer. I was like, haha. So we were actually
You
going
both
out.
can get one because you have one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
So
if they
it,
limit it per table, but you can try.
yeah, it's been interesting for anybody thinking about doing Lolo. I only send out like maybe 30,
Mhm.
but I've definitely had people reach out to me, with questions or comments or like, ooh, this is a good one or that was delicious. So it's a
Yeah,
good
and if
one.
we have enough people that do Lolo, Chuck, I don't know if you know this, but when you go log into the back office, you can see who's opened the text, who's opened the email, if they've redeemed it, how many times they've clicked on stuff. So I really like it for that because I can really track, because I look at it like this, you're paying to be seen, right? When they get the Lolo, it has your picture, it has your company logo. And so when they get that in their email or they get that in their text message and they scroll through and decide if it's something they want to use that month, they see your face. So if they open that 10 times, like, what was that again? Where is it at again? Da 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 da. They're seeing Mark and I, they're seeing Mark and I, they're seeing Mark and I, they're seeing Mark. So even if they don't even redeem it, because I've had people say, well, nobody's redeeming them. I said, it's not about the redemption, it's about the connection. So you're paying just to rent some space in their mind for that little bit of time, and they're associating you with something good. So they're associating you with something like this is awesome, and they're thinking about you for those few seconds or whatever it is. And then if they actually go redeem it, you can see that too, and you can say, hey, did you enjoy your gift? It gives you a great chance to follow up and say, hey, did you use it? What did you get? Or whatever. So just a really cool way to kind of be a ninja under the radar and stay in contact with people. Awesome. Thanks, Chuck, for bringing up that whole topic. I love it. And then let's see what else we have in here for some people. Missy, yours was getting your settlement statements out and hopefully adding the home maintenance calendars. How's that going for you this week?
Well, I have all of my settlement statements printed and almost have the envelopes finished. I'm setting the settlement statements without the calendars so that I can get those out this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the calendars. I just cannot figure it out. I know you said if you have an issue, we've got resources, but I'm just genuinely like tapped out. I've called so many different places and I've looked online and I don't want to pay a whole lot of money. So yeah, that obviously is factoring into it a little bit. I am cheap, but my intentions are not to be cheap, but it's like, I don't want to spend.
So what happened to that one I sent you that was like, you didn't want to spend the $6 some a piece or whatever? Is that what it came down to?
No, because $6 each is not a bad price. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the other ones that I found, but I couldn't tell like how they're I couldn't figure out the printing of it. So I guess I'm just tired. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've printed things with printers a lot, and I'm sure Shannon has too, working at a title company in the past. The best way to do a printer is to send them what you want to print and tell them what you want and then have them figure it out. Like you shouldn't have to figure it out. Like
Yeah,
that's been my experience. Like
yeah.
this is the
It's
size I
just been
want. This is how I
frustrating.
want it to be. Can you do it? And what's it going to cost me?
Yeah, I
Missy,
just wanted it to all go out at the end of the, I thought it would be great if I could send it
hmm
as a package.
Now, I will
And
tell
so it's
you,
been
there are people
frustrating.
on Etsy that if you send them your mail list, they
Mhm.
will design the calendar, print it, and mail it for you. So if that's something you want to totally just outsource it, you can go right to Etsy and do it. I know it's going to cost you a little bit more, but it's going to save you some frustration. So it's just, what I would say, I haven't decided to do the calendar yet. I thought it was a cool idea, just like you, but you have to determine like, is that something that you feel is really something you want to add value in?
But that's why I'm going to just
Yeah,
focus in on the settlement statements, which is what I'm
yeah.
doing. So hoping to get
Shannon,
that done.
I know you're going to add something to that too.
Well, I was just going to say, Missy, have you just thought about sending something over to like Office Max to print?
Yeah, it's just not going to be as cheap. Yeah,
But it's quick because you can pick it
yeah,
up right then and there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or maybe just print like a
It's kind of
couple
like
and see
real
if you
estate,
like it.
Missy. It's kind of like real estate. You can't have quality, price, and uh, quickness. You got to pick two of the three.
It's so true, Shannon. But Missy, you know what? The settlement statements was a priority, and we talked about that.
It is.
So
And that was exactly right. And
you're,
that's so, but yes, I'm almost done. I have actually until Sunday, probably, in my opinion, to get that out. It's going to go based on a week, but maybe not. I don't know.
you do.
I'm working
Yeah.
on it. I'm trying to get it done. I almost got it done. I got it all printed on Tuesday, but I mean, I had to pick up 2 more listings on
Oh,
Wednesday. So,
such a rough
I
life.
mean, I know. And so I'm not upset or anything, but I was like, I can't do this and that. So trying to do
And
it
I
all.
think those priorities are in line. Getting the
Yes,
listings is
I know.
definitely higher than printing
I
a
know.
calendar.
It's great, actually. It's absolutely great. I'm super excited.
Love it. Mark Garner, I think you're back with us. You had get equity snapshot verbiage and stationery that you plan to use for your equity snapshots. Did you want to chime in on where you're at with that or if you run into any snags?
Well, I think I got the paper that I'm going to use. It looks pretty professional from there. I just got to order it. So other than that, that's pretty much good to go. I mean, on there. So, and then also too, I did a training this past week on like RPR, which you know what RPR is, but it's interesting, like the information that you can actually pull out of there that I didn't know that was actually in there.
I
Sometimes
used it. I used it.
used what?
I used what I was taught on that webinar.
Did you attend it
Uh,
as well? Is
I I don't know if it's the same one. I'm assuming it's the same one. But Alicia, the one that Alicia attended.
No, he's
no.
talking about the CE one. The one we attended, Missy, I'm going to share with you guys
Okay.
today. Those people on the call, if you guys
Yeah,
if anybody wants to stick around and watch it. But
I used it. I used it for actually for my commercial 2 listings that I picked up on Wednesday.
nice.
They're both Subways, and I used the trade area information for the Canal Winchester location where the Subway is to pull the traffic and the all that detail, those data and the demographics, and I used it and pulled it in, and I'm telling you right now how I am advertising and marketing the Subway in Winchester is amazing. I'm really excited.
Good. I'm
So
so excited. You're
yeah,
going to have to
I
share more
actually
about
used it.
that when we get
I
to
actually
that.
used it, and it actually was like, oh wow,
Are you going to
that's
be
really
on
good
till noon?
information.
Because you're obviously driving somewhere.
I'm taking vegetable soup to my daughter because she doesn't feel good and she's pregnant.
Okay. Okay. So
So
you'll be kind of on here. So we'll see.
yeah, I'm gonna be on absolutely,
Okay.
and I have my laptop.
Awesome. Mark, that's cool. I think we've gone through everybody. Karsha, I don't know. I know you weren't on Monday, but if you had a goal, and Mark Catman too, both of you guys, if you guys had one goal from this week that you were trying to accomplish, are you getting it done? If you haven't set a goal for this week, what would you like your goal to be? And we can hold you accountable in the group. So what I do is I have a post in the group. I can share it with you guys here. But I have a post in the group where I put all of our weekly intention, our one intention, so that we can all be accountable to each other. And that way, when we check in with our calls, we'll know what's going on. Just a way that you can keep yourself lightly accountable. We're not going to be beating your door down or anything, but I do think that it's important for us to share what we're trying to work on. So mine this week was creating an equity snapshot template, and I'm almost there. Finishing your 1099s, Karsha girl, that was mine last week. I totally feel that. The deadline's coming up, huh? You're gonna do it. The face, the little emoji you have is just like the perfect one to use for that. It's never fun, but I know you can get it done. I'm gonna put it in there for you. Catman, did you have anything you wanted to add? Let me know. And while you guys are doing that, I'll finish the equity snapshot. So I'm working on, for those of you who are familiar with the Ninja, they recommend that you do 2 unsolicited CMAs a week. And that's also part of our playbook too. We have on there that you to do 2 equity snapshots a week. We changed the name because they called it Real Estate Review, and people were thinking they were supposed to get reviews from clients. And I'm like, no, it's supposed to be like an equity assessment for people that own a home. So anyway, we're calling it an equity snapshot. So this is one area where Mark and I both have not been consistent in doing this on a regular basis. And what we noticed last year were there were we noticed people in our database, people that we followed up with, people that we've done all the things for, doing things right. But we are definitely missing out on business because of the fact that we are not being consistent with doing those snapshots and having those conversations with people, because there are some people that ended up taking like cash offers and things on their home where, the between what their home was worth in a decent condition on a regular market, one might have left close to 100,000 on the table and another one 50,000 on the table. And we just looked at ourselves and we're like, what can we do to make people aware better, do a better job of like keeping them aware of their value, and that we're here if they find themselves in a situation where they feel like they have to unload the house quickly. And so our goal this year is we are going to get our equity snapshots done. So part of that is I want to have like a little template that we can use so that we hit different things. I want something a little more visual. I know Mark is also doing his printing some on like nicer paper, but I'm thinking like even if we have to email something, I want it to be something really quick they can look at and it just goes boom, 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 boom. And then it has information in there about like, are you considering taking a cash offer? Are you, if you have a hardship situation, we have this. If you have this, we have this. I want to kind of make it more where they see our services and understand that we can help them with any of those things, not just houses that are pretty and ready to go all the time. Shannon said, although reviews from clients are needed, and I'm terrible at asking for those too. Yes, I agree. We got to get better. Mark Cabin says his goal is to develop a usable business workflow or structure. Okay, Mark, I'm going to ask you to narrow that down to one thing, because that sounds like a project to me. That doesn't sound like a one thing, because when you say develop, it makes me think you have a lot of steps. So can you give us something a little more, like, are you in the research phase? Do you already know what you want to kind of do, but you just have to implement some things?
Actually, well, it's like a multifaceted, I guess, statement that I made there.
Okay.
But because I am thinking of niching my business as well,
Mm-hmm.
but also I'm currently working in a specific flow. What I want to do is just to map it so I can visually see it. Almost like a
Hmm.
pipeline per se. For example, you know how we're doing our um, consistent tasks like,
Mm-hmm.
newsletters or note cards or touches. I just want almost like a flow diagram. Just it'll help. I don't want to say motivate me, but
Like a
it'll
mind
just
map kind of thing, like a,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And with my, you could say mentality or symptoms or whatever, mind maps. It sounds funny, but I just discovered mind maps, and
I love them too.
they
I'm a
help me.
visual learner, so I feel like they help me a lot.
Yeah, it's for me it'll help for note taking and also going back into something because I will have 500,000 things on my mind at one time. And that's
Yep.
why I stutter a lot too with my words is because I have 500,000 words to say, but there's only one tiny little hole, which is your mouth, and they can't all fit through your mouth, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I also I'm sorry for going on the rabbit trail.
No, you're
That should be my
fine.
middle name. Mark Rabbit Trail Catman. I'm kidding. But no, I've had like a self-discovery moment where I just realized I have certain challenges I need to work through mentally, like with just different symptoms of like I don't mean to label it, but just symptoms of like ADHD type stuff.
Hmm.
Never wanted to admit it, but I kind of had to come to terms with all that I'm experiencing after I talk to different individuals. Anyway, I'm looping all of this back to mind maps. And,
Yeah.
and basically I'm mind mapping my business so I can see all of the operations and flow. So I have this zoomed out perspective. That way I can zoom back in and say, okay, what can I work on? What am I missing? What needs improvement? So you know how it's sometimes good to look at your business from like a zoomed out perspective and just see how
Absolutely.
it's operating and you know. So yeah.
Well, I feel like you just gave the perfect segue into the next section because I might
Oh,
have a tool that you would find useful,
ooh.
um, that I'm going to share. Hold on a second. Let me get this where I can share the right screen here. I don't know. It just wants to share my desktop every time. Have you ever tried Notebook LM?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna share this with you guys real quick. It's super simple. And then after this, I will walk into the RPR hack that I told you I was going to share with you today that a lot of you may not be aware of. I'm going to assume, first of all of you on the call have access to the RPR. If you do not, please put that in the chat. But if you do, if you don't respond, I'm going to assume you understand what RPR is and you have access. That way, I just need to know where to start with that. But so Notebook LM is an AI software through Google. It is free. You can get, now you will run out of, you can do a few things and then you're gonna hit a paywall. But to get the upgraded version, it's like 20 bucks a month. But I'm gonna show you guys what you can do. So Mark Catman's situation. So if you feel similarly, or I think in general, a lot of us carry a lot of things and we need to kind of brain dump. We need to just get all of our thoughts out on paper. What I would suggest you do first is go to a Chat GPT or Perplexity or Claude, whatever one you like, and literally just start talking to it and telling it like, here's all the stuff I want to accomplish. Here's all the stuff on my brain. It doesn't matter if you go back and forth, if you go from one thing to another thing, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then tell it to break it down. Just say, I just want you to break all this down for me and give me an idea, like segment my thoughts and all this. It'll give you some information. And then what I would do is copy, if you like what it gives you and it feels logical to you, you can copy and paste that into Notebook LM and it will create, there's these buttons. So once you put in there, you can upload anything. You can put, I was working on a Westerville February community events infographic design. I was working on that in here, but you can literally put anything. And let me go back to my home and see if I can't find anything in here. Here's one, like 2026 strategic blueprint. This was something I was probably working on for myself. Once you have the information in here, you can click on mind map and I clicked it twice by accident. It's going to automatically create a mind map with that data. You can also have it create all these other things. So I can create an audio overview. So like here, it already got my mind map done. So I can click on this and Mark Catman, I don't know if you can see my screen. Okay. Maybe, do I need to change the view to make it bigger? So you guys, because I think my layout, yeah, let me do this. There.
I
Okay.
can see it if I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah, I'll
better.
make it bigger. So you'll see here it says 2026 strategic blueprint in real estate, and it says a real estate accountability system, community and growth, technology and AI initiatives, and business operations. So it's broke everything that I was like, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then if I click on this, it extends it: weekly checklist, trainings and meetings, agent standards, community and growth. It's like On Purpose Academy, the events that I'm going to do. And then if I click on Purpose Academy, it says you're going to do this, right? Super, it kind of compartmentalizes it and it's interactive. And then this says, what are some technology that I'm going to use? What are some business operations things that I need to do? Now, everybody's is going to be different because it's going to be dependent upon what you put in the system. But it's as simple as just clicking on Create Notebook, and then you can do a web link, you can research, you can upload a file, you can put a YouTube video in. So this doesn't have to be your own content. This can be anyone's content. You can also do copied text in here, which is what I was suggesting. Like if you were going to go into ChatGPT and just brain dump and have it organize it, and then you can put it in here. You can do that. And it'll create that mind map for you. Is this really cool? Has anybody ever used Notebook LM to do any of this stuff? No? I'll show you one more thing too. I think this is the one that I was playing around with. Yeah. So this is a blueprint to grow your sphere. You guys, all I did was take a Facebook post that someone posted. I put the 4 points from that Facebook post I just copied and pasted it in here. And I just started hitting buttons over here to create things. And this is great if you have a team, if you're looking for content, if you want to write a blog, you can do an infographic in here. Now, obviously, there's different things you might need to play around with, but it is so cool, Karsha. I love it. But this is like a post that it came up with. Is like, this is Leo Pereira's 4 steps to relaunch your real estate business. And I loved it because it's so in line with what I teach. But know your strengths, stop copying other playbooks, build your business around what you naturally do best to outperform the competition. Nurture your sphere. 66% of sellers' transactions come from people you already know. Focus on this gold mine instead of chasing strangers. Prioritize listings over buyers and connect over coffee, which is, I think we've talked about every single one of these, although I do give you guys a playbook to get started with, but you can always tweak it to make it your own. But super cool. It created that. All I did is told it to add it to my personal brand colors. This is cool. It'll actually even create a podcast. And when I say it creates a podcast, let me see if I don't know if you guys can hear it because of oh shoot, it's not going to play it through my speakers, but it creates a podcast in here that sounds like a real podcast of 2 people talking back and forth about this topic. Super cool. It'll also create a video. It created this video. I did not do anything to create this video. I literally just asked it to create a video and it did it. What else is in here? But this is another infographic that it created all by itself. So all I did was just click a button. It also creates a slide. I think this is the slide deck it created using my brand colors. No, I have the paid version. I do have the pro version. It's $20 a month. And it does also include the pro version of Gemini, and you also get the pro version of Nano Banana. So you do get you get all the Google stuff. It's through Google Workplace, I believe. So yeah, totally worth the $20 a month. No, it's not bad for what you get. Absolutely not. But yeah, it created this whole slideshow. I did nothing except for paste a Facebook post, you guys. That's all I did. So super cool tool. Highly recommend it. I've been playing around with it for the past few weeks, and it's been really neat to get in there and do some stuff. Now I'm just working on, okay, what do I do with all this information? But yeah, you can do a blog post. I don't think the blog thing was available back when I did this, because I think that's a new feature that they added or something, but I don't know. So that's kind of cool. So now I'm going to go even further with this. So I'm going to show you guys, I learned this in a training this week, and I think it's the coolest thing. And what's cool is I've been telling everybody this year, get reacquainted with your tools. Whatever you already pay for, learn it. Because you have things at your fingertips that we forget we even have, or we don't know that we have access to. And RPR is one of those things that I think a lot of us don't realize what's in it. And Mark did a training on it this week through our board. And then I did a training on it with an agent who shows you how to do some deep dive research in here. And when I saw the information she got back, I was like, this is really, really cool. So I'm going to show that to you guys today. And you're going to leave with some knowledge and something that will help you with your listings. It'll help you with your marketing. And then if you want to create content around it, it'll even help you with that. So first of all of you know how to log into RPR, hopefully. I think it's like nar.rpr.com or narrpr.com. You can kind of see it up here. When you're on I'll start at the home screen so it looks like probably what you'll see. Yeah, so it looks like this when you log in. Now, what you want to do is, I just noticed this was toggled. I didn't toggle that. I think it does it automatically when we go. We'll see what happens. But what you're going to do is go to the research tab. Now, most of us are doing residential real estate. Missy does some commercial, so she's going to find it even more cool, as she's already shared. She's used it a little bit. But the purpose of some of this information that we are using through RPR is I want you guys to know that all of this intelligence comes from ESRI, which is a intelligent analysis software that investigates geospatial and link analysis. Okay, so sounds super techy. What you guys need to know though is that all of the things that we're getting ready to pull, this isn't just like stuff somebody pulled out of the air. These are actual real statistical data, and it's backed up by ESRI. So everything you pull out of here, you really don't have to go and like check it or anything. And it's updated constantly. So it's the latest, greatest information, which is really cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to commercial trade areas. And what this is for commercial people who are maybe looking to invest or looking to open a Subway or whatever. This is where they can go and define where customers live, if they're likely to travel to a particular business or business district. Doesn't sound that important to residential real estate. You're like, why do I care about that? I'm going to show you why. So somebody give me a zip code. It doesn't even have to be locally to me. It can be a zip code anywhere. That's the other cool thing. You can do this for any place that you want to. Okay, Mark Hatman's first. So 43123. We're just going to put that in here and we're going to click it. We're doing Grove City, Ohio. I'm going to minimize my chat for a second. Oops, sorry guys. I guess when I did that, it knocked me. Okay, hopefully, can you still see now? Is it back? Hopefully, can you guys see my screen? I never checked.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there we go. All right. I just didn't want that chat to be in my way. So you can already see that it's giving me this quick report. You can see median household income, median age, and then you see this thing called first dominant segment and then population. We could scroll down and get all kinds of graphs. I mean, this alone is already cool, okay? But what we're gonna do is, I didn't even notice you could do view listings. But anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on create report, and then we're gonna click on trade area template. This is all, you don't have to change anything. Then we're gonna click on continue. It is going to create a report for us. And then once it creates this report, we're going to walk through it real quick and see some of what you can find on this report and how you can use this information to market better for your listings. So if you say you get a listing in a certain area, say you're going to take a listing in Grove City, you can use this to help you market to the proper demographics of people for that house. So obviously it's going to map it out. If you can set it up to make sure your picture, if you haven't already, that's just in your RPR settings. You can put your logo in your picture. And then we have this trade area summary. So what we can see here, if we go down to where it says top tapestry segments, I'm going to make this bigger if I can. Try to make it as big as I can here. There, that's a little better. So you will see that it has compartmentalized a lot of the population into these different segments. Now, the names of these segments doesn't really matter. They're different for everyone I've pulled. There's occasionally some overlap. But what you will see is like the number percent of households that this is called workday drive. That's what they chose to call this segment. And this segment has a median income of 116.8. Their median home value is 406.9. Home ownership about 85%. It tells you their education level, preferred activities, how their financial outlook is, what's important to them. Also what kind of media, that they use, their median age, whether they're married or singles or whatever. But this tells you the percentage of that demographic is 21%, this one's 17, 11, so forth and so on. But what's kind of neat about this is if you were looking at, say, targeting this area for any reason, say that your listing is going to be around 350,000, right? You're probably going to be looking at this group of people, right? These are your people that would probably be looking at buying a $350,000 home. So you can go through here and you can see what's important to them. You can put these types of things in your descriptions for your listings. You could say, hey, great yard for producing your own organic garden and growing your own garden, because this particular group of people that would look at that listing, that's going to be something that might be important to them, right? Maybe this one says busy with work and family, shops around for the best deals. So maybe this is where you talk about the value conversation. This is a great value for your family, right? Which that one's pretty general. But as you get up into more of these higher price ranges, 406, 375, whatever, if physical fitness is important to this group of people, then you talk about the gym, you talk about how close those are to those people. So just pretty neat information that you can use. Did you need me for anything? I don't know, Missy, did you want to add what you used real quick from the report that might be valuable to them?
Because I'm at my grandkids are here, so it's hard to hear. So that's why I was like, there's no point in me staying on here. The only thing I was going to add is that using the trade area for the commercial product, the commercial property that I was working on. Sorry.
You have it 1,000%.
Apparently I have the control to turn the volume down too. I didn't know that. So anyway, the details and the demographic that I was pulling for the subway specifically are going to just be an added bonus and benefit and help me literally market to people in the area, or people, even subway people that are looking, that want to own a business. So that was one thing. But even though, I'm obviously I do residential as well, but I'm going to use it for the residential marketing as well. And so it'll help me to curtail my marketing specifically without, we still have to be careful of our guidelines that we can't say certain things.
Yeah.
Perfect for the family of 4. Can't say that. But just, in general, just adding those components to it, I think it's going to be a huge benefit. So that's all I was going to say.
Well, one off-topic question. Did Brookie like your hair?
Brookie, do you like my hair?
Did.
She did.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to know.
All right. I'm out. I love y'all. Bye.
But yeah, I love that. I love what Missy shared too. And then I'll go even down further because this kind of gives you the overview here. This also tells you about what kind of vehicle. I mean, it tells you all kinds of different information. But here's what's cool. It even takes you down even further per group. So it's saying this is your first, ranked area. It tells you who they are. It says they're affluent, family-oriented market with a country flavor. They are partial to new housing away from the bustle of the city, but close enough to commute. It's life in this suburban wilderness, I like that word, offsets the hectic pace of 2 working parents with growing children. They favor time-saving devices like banking online, housekeeping services, family-oriented pursuits. Tells you about the neighborhood, the socioeconomic traits of that particular group, and then market profile. So I don't know if a lot of you have ever thought about you have to create your marketing avatar. This is a great way to kind of define who is it that I'm going after, right? If they own at least 2 vehicles, they have minivans or SUVs, different things, if they like outdoor activities, then any content that you're going to provide should talk about these things. Like maybe it talks about different sports. Maybe you come up with like a sports and activity that puts your kid in for that area. Things that are going to attract the people that you want to work with, right? And they do this for each one. So you can dig in deeper. And if you haven't already went in there and started playing around, they're all so different. And you can drill down to this. I did zip code, which is like a larger area, but you could also search by subdivision. You could search by city. I want to go back up to the beginning. Well, it's because I made my screen so big I can't see it here. But oops, now I'm sharing my AI stuff with you guys, which that's a whole nother topic if you guys ever want to talk about AI. I love AI. But anyway, but we got all that stuff in there. So you can search by all those things. And if you ever want to change what you search for, you can just go in here. Like if I wanted to search for I wonder if my subdivision's in there. No, don't see it. I haven't tried subdivision yet. I don't know. Maybe that's not one of them. It says neighborhood. Okay, I guess not subdivision. So you've got county, city, zip code, and I'm not sure what neighborhood means. I would say you're probably looking at county, city, or zip code to kind of narrow it down. But if you want to take this a step further, I just showed you Notebook LM. You could take that report, you can put that into ChatGPT, you could put that into whatever AI system that you use, and you can ask it to give you a marketing plan that's geared toward the specific segment that you want to look at. And I did this. I think I did this with my ChatGPT, and I know we're almost up against the time, so we'll see if I can find it. Maybe I didn't do it with ChatGPT. You guys have got so many of I think I did it with Gemini. Yeah, I think that was it. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. I'll share this with you guys real quick, what it came up with. So I did Westerville and I said, hey, here's the segments I'm interested in out of this report. And it gave me some ideas. It said, hey, why don't you do some 60-second luxury tours? Do like a cinematic walkthrough of, some of the luxury homes, because it said one of the segments for it was oh shoot, I forget the name of the segment, but they like everything like super nice and luxury and all that. It also gave, smart tech features on homes. The weekend guide of things to do. It gave me blog post ideas, like what's it like investing in 43082. Designs for the modern family, the top renovation trends for high-end suburban homes, focusing on maybe touring a finished basement or home gym, or talking to like people who do that type of work in the area. Having a contractor tell you about the different things you should think about doing in your home gym. And then they also have like some postcard ideas. Just sold, don't just send a house, get like a mini report with data, because a lot of the people in that price range I was looking at love financial data and things like that. So you could really, it could really elevate your marketing. I thought this one was really cool. A wine and wealth seminar where you partner with a local financial advisor. And this even like pulled the area. It was like, why don't you set up an intimate evening at an uptown Westerville restaurant and discuss real estate as a retirement hedge, and have like a financial advisor come in and call it wine and wealth or something. I thought that was pretty fun. So I guess what I'm saying is you have this tool at your fingertips, use it and see what you can do. Oh, you're welcome, Mark. I'm glad you made it. But yeah, we are done for the day. I appreciate you guys showing up. We will be back on Monday for 11 a.m. for our check-in in the On Purpose group. And then every Thursday we'll be here at 11 o'clock. So if you have something you need help with, just like Chuck did today or anybody else, you can share with that. And then again, hopefully I'll have a little something that I can share with you every week. Next week, I'm going to talk more about that equity snapshot and hopefully share the template that I'm making so that you guys can all use it and take it, steal it, whatever you want to do with it. That's it for me. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.